do first is take the choke cable off. So it's just need to undo that screw there, which is just pinching the cable to release the top part of it. There's no point taking it right out. And again, it's just one of those, it just literally slots in. Let's zoom in for you, as you can see. So it has a cutout on the plastic, and the wire just slips into there. And there it comes. And then we can remove it completely from the bike. And that's the choke cable removed. Right, now we're going to remove the carburettor with the carburettor wire or cable as well. So what we need is two 10mm, remove the two 10mm nuts to remove the actual carburettor itself. Right, before we actually remove the carburettor, I've just found a sensor on the other side, which obviously you've got two wires. They run out and come up to the connectors here. So we'll just undo that quickly. Right, that's released. Put that up out of the way. So there's your 10mm nuts right there. So we'll crack that off. And I've almost lost it. There it is. And we'll go around the other side and crack the other one off. Right, with that nut removed, the carburettor assembly should slide off, all three of the wires. We're going to go out the other side of the bike, because obviously that's where the cable is. And there is your carburettor assembly. What I'll do is I will do a video on this for you, which we'll strip it all down. We'll check the needles and jets out on it, make sure everything's all right, and then rebuild it back up, ready to go back on the bike. So now we have the carburettor free. We have a gasket which is on the inlet. Just whip that off and have a quick look at it. Looks like it's got a rubber O-ring on the back. Actually looks in good order, but for the sake of a couple of pence for a new O-ring, I'm going to replace it as and when it comes to it. So what I'll do is I'll put that, we'll leave that on there, and we'll put the nuts back on, then we know where they all are. Just do my finger tight so we don't lose that O-ring as well. Now, I think I'm going to remove the intake off the bike just for safety reasons more than anything. Again, a couple of these bolts here look very rusty, So I just give them a little squirt of my cheap WD-40 that I've got, and hopefully they won't break like the exhaust ones did. So let's give them a spray up. Right, so I've got them all sprayed up now. So I cracked them off camera, just in case. But they seem to have all cracked off really well. So it's just a matter of undoing them all and we remove it. Right, now we've got the nuts all off. We'll pull that off. Again, looks like they're O-rings. There's one that side and one that side. Again, the condition, they look okay. But again, for the sake of a couple of pence, what I think is I'll buy just a box of pre-selected O-rings, because I probably will end up tearing the engine down. And having a look inside. Again, that'll be another video for you guys. So yeah, so what we need to do now is start looking at getting this wiring out of the way. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me just drop it down for you. Obviously what we've got the chain guard here, and we've got some wires running down into it. So what we'll do is we'll whip that off. We can have a look in there, see where these wires go, see if we can disconnect it, and then have a look at possibly removing the removing all the wires from the bike. And what just fell off there was just a bracket that holds some wires which runs underneath. So yeah, just on the side of the case it's got obviously down for first, neutral, second, third, fourth and fifth. And that's inside, and that looks like a right sorry state. That's going to need a good clean up. I'm going to replace the chain anyway because it's I think it's beyond saving. So I've already done a bit of research, found loads of places you can get the chain, so that's not a problem. Now the wiring runs into the box. It looks like it comes up on top of the frame where I can disconnect it, so that's not a problem. We've got some pipes. This pipe just seems to be sitting in there. Not too sure about that one. And it looks like we've got a breather pipe for the engine as well, which we can which should just come off. There you go, it's a breather pipe off. Right, so we're getting there slowly. Let's trace this wire. We'll pull this wire out and start removing it from the frame. Right, so what we're going to do is have a look at getting most of the wiring out of the bike. Two reasons. Number one, gives us better access and everything for the removing the engine, and number two, obviously you don't want to catch any of the wires when removing the engine and ripping them apart, because then I'll have to rebuild the wiring loom. So there's lots of hidden places and connectors and stuff like that. So we'll have a closer look at it, and then we can determine the best way to remove it from the bike. Right, so here we have, obviously these are your connectors from the front part of the bike. Remember, we had the headlight indicators, all your controls on your handlebars and everything all come into this. So what I've done is I've already pulled it through the frame from here. So I've already pulled it through, which is sat here. Now we have an earth strap which you need to remove, which is there. Then we have the connectors for the coil packs which sit either side, which obviously supplies the spark to your two spark plugs on top of the cylinder head. We then come down to, it looks like a module. Obviously we're going to remove that wire and we'll remove the module off the frame itself. We come down to a sleeve, pull the sleeve back. Again, we've got a few connectors there, which one runs, which would have been on the carburettor. We've got another one which runs down into the loom here, which then runs down into the gearbox, which we need to remove. And the third one, so the green one, which is here, that runs down and underneath the bike, which I believe comes out here, and that comes up round to the starter motor. We then come to what would be underneath the seat section. So what we got here is what the battery was held in. Again, looks like we've got another module sitting underneath that, and we've just got a bundle of wires. That one there could be the main feed down to the battery. I'll have to get underneath the bike and check. So yeah, we need to get all this off. Yeah, so we're just going to remove the strap on first. What I might do actually is, that is just a bracket which has got the horn and both the coil packs on it. So instead of disconnecting the wires, I think what I'll do is I'll remove that. I'll say remove it. Remove the bracket. We'll take the HT leads off the spark plugs, and that way we keep all part of the loom, which just makes life a little bit easier when it comes to being put back together. So that's that removed. Then we've got that module block, which is just simply pushed onto a bracket which is welded onto the frame. So now we have that removed. But not used there. Okay. Now we need to see what we've got running into the gearbox. So we've got one there. That's the gearbox one. That's removed. Another one. That's part of the gearbox. And that wire. And underneath the seat pan you've got another connector. So now that's the loom disconnected from the gearbox. We've got another wire which runs down underneath, which is this green one here. So we'll remove that. Now, I'm not going to be able to feed the loom in that way, so I'm going to have to feed it out that way. And to do that, we need to disconnect the big red one from what looks like its main module and fuse. go around the other side of the bike. So all I've just released there is a spring that's connected to the brake lever that runs to the back end of the bike, and it's just literally a switch that pulls in and out. So obviously when you operate it, it pulls the pin out, activates the brake light. So I've just removed that. So now we should be able to feed that one through. And there's that I was talking about. So obviously as it pulls it, it activates the brake light, release it, brake light goes off. So that's all that released. There's another strip. And we've got the battery box. Got a fuse module. We're going to have to disconnect that here. We're going to have to break the loom into two. That connector's point. There's one. And there's two. So that's the battery box with modules and everything. That's removed. And now there's the main wiring harness with horn obviously and your quarter packs removed. Right, so what we've got is we've got all the wiring loom out of the bike now. We've only left with a few wires which is attached to the engine themselves. So in the next episode will be the big one. We're going to remove the engine from the frame. Still got a few little bits to do. Remove the chain, the sprocket, and then it's ready for the engine to come out. So anyway, thanks for watching guys. I'll see you in the next episode. You take care. Bye bye.